Next on Sisterhood of the Second Act.
As we go through our daily lives, we want to stay safe. Sometimes it is our daily habits that can put our personal safety at risk. Sergeant Jacquelyn Persiani is a deputy sheriff with the Roanoke County Sheriff's Office. She teaches classes on self-defense and offers tips on how to deal with encounters that may arise. And do you know your value and can you articulate it to others? Patrice Freeland is a strength-based life coach. She's here to explain what that means and to offer up some tips to help us convey our value. We'll meet these women on this edition of Sisterhood of the Second Act right after this.
I'm going to be an oak tree.
I think I'll be a dogwood tree.
My kids say they be looking for a thorny tree for me.
With Evergreen, you can be a tree. Our biodegradable urn combines your ashes, natural soil additives, and a native tree of your choice. Be a tree and grow for tomorrow.
I want to be a tree.
Learn more at evergreenmemorialtrust.com.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-430-7694. 800-430-7694. 800-430-7694. That's 800-430-7694.
Now from the Fox Radio Roanoke studios, this is Sisterhood of the Second Act. Welcome to Sisterhood of the Second Act. I'm Denise Allen Membrano. When you are out and about, are you aware of your surroundings? That's probably one of the most important things you can do to ensure your personal safety. Sergeant Jacquelyn Persiani is a deputy with the Roanoke County Sheriff's Office, and she's been on a mission to educate citizens on how to stay safe. Jacquelyn, Sergeant, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been an important topic. Earlier in this season, we talked to a woman who was attacked. Are there things that we're doing in our everyday lives that might make us unsafe? Things that people don't realize that, hey, this is probably not a good idea.
So when we think about personal safety and self-defense, I'm not going to talk about any flashy, fancy things while we're here today. We're going to keep it simple and important. So we need to be aware of what's going on around us, just like you said, aware of our surroundings. So what are we doing in our everyday life that distracts us and keeps us from seeing what's going on? We all have these little boxes in our pockets and our purses that we carry around, and we're glued to them. And so if I'm looking on my phone, even if it's for 30 seconds, I can miss a lot of what's going on around me. And so something else is having the same routine. So if we know that our Kroger gets the best produce delivered at this time on this date every week, that makes it easy for someone to pick up on that. If I see you there twice at the same time 2 weeks in a row, I might think, she comes here every week. So, and are you there at an odd time? Or are there no people around? So that's something we need to think about when we're going about our everyday lives. Don't be an easy target either when we're walking around. So chest up high, we're proud, we're happy to be here. We're proud, strong women. So we're going to look people in the eye. Bad guys want soft targets. They want easy opportunities. So we're not going to let anyone think that we are that easy opportunity.
I tell my daughter that all the time, walk like you mean it,
yes.
like you mean business. So it's great to talk about everyday scenarios. Mm-hmm. Let's start by walking to your car in a parking lot or in a parking garage.
We're going to go back to being aware. So if we're walking to, say, we had dinner with our friends, we're going back to the parking garage, we all park separate. If we see someone that seems out of place, someone messing around our car isn't home base. We're not safe if we get to our car. So I need to be aware of that. That's a little odd, and we're going to trust our gut because our gut is usually right. And we're going to leave. right? So if someone's around my car that shouldn't be there, if someone's walking towards me at a rate that is not comfortable to me, I need to get out of that situation. I need to get someone to either go back with me to my car. I need to call 911. The police would be much happier to help you get to your vehicle and nothing happen than have something happen to you. That's very important. So be aware if something seems wrong, then you need to remove yourself from the situation. Because if we avoid being a target, then we're never a victim.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, you don't have to confront someone.
No.
Especially, they're a lot bigger than you.
Yes.
So how about you're walking around your neighborhood or on the greenway? I mean, like if you find that person on the greenway, you have limited exits.
Absolutely. So that's why we want to be aware of what's going on. We don't want to be on our phone. If we've got our ear pods in, maybe have one out so we can hear what's going on around us. We're going to be assertive. So we're going to walk like we're proud to be there. We'll look people in the eye and address them. If I acknowledge someone who maybe was thinking about doing something terrible to me, now I've seen them and they know that I know they're there. So that doesn't make you an easy target anymore. Let people know where you're going. Let your daughter, let your spouse, let your friends know where you're going. If you're going to go on a walk with a greenway, go with a group of people. There's strength in numbers because that's a harder target.
How about shopping? You mentioned that earlier. I never really thought about the times I go shopping, and I know that my Kroger gets deliveries on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I go on Tuesday.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
So let's talk a little bit about what happens if there is some kind of active attack situation on us. So like what our brain does. So first we have denial. We have deliberation, and then we have decisive action. So denial, our brain is lazy. It's called normalcy bias, right? So our brain doesn't want to work with anything that it's not used to. So that's when you'll hear that people say, oh, I thought it was just fireworks when it was gunshots, or I thought that it was a sound of construction. You drove there, you saw no construction vehicles. It is, October 12th, there should be no fireworks, and it's the middle of the day. So our brain tries to fit things into boxes because it's lazy. And that denial costs time and unfortunately could cost a life. So we need to move through that denial phase as much as possible and as quickly as possible. And we'll go through a couple things that we can work through and that we can practice with our families and while we're out and even with our friends and by ourselves that can help us with that. Then we're going to move into deliberation. So that's the phase where it's, what do I need to do to protect myself, protect my family, protect my friends? What's next? And so, but you have to do that under stress. That sounds easy when we're sitting here talking, but when there's something happening to you, our body responds in a way that we may not be used to. So our brain, we've got our human brain, that's the smart part that allows us to have these conversations, make plans, do geometry, but then we have what we like to call the lizard brain. So our lizard brain is what keeps us alive. That's our survival brain. So that's breathing, running, fight, flight, freeze. So when a very stressful situation happens, like some kind of active attack, our human brain takes a step back and our lizard brain says, this is what I'm here for. So we have to be able to work within that lizard brain while it's in control. So things will happen like tunnel vision, auditory exclusion, we'll lose fine motor skills. So during this deliberation, we got to calm ourselves, we got to control our breathing, and we've got to make good actions. So that's what happens next in the decisive actions. So once we get through deliberation, we decide what we're going to do. Hopefully, we're not a freezer where we can't decide to do anything, and then we're going to make a decisive action. So something we can do to work through that is called scripting. So law enforcement does that a lot. If this happens, then what am I going to do? That can be as simple as we go into a store, so we're shopping, and we say, okay, I went in this exit, where are my other ones? If something is to happen, how can I get away? Whether it's some mass event or it's someone is going to attack me. Where's my other exit besides the one I came in? That's as simple as that. So that way you get your brain thinking. So once we move through the denial, well, I can't go back out the way I came, but I know that I saw that exit sign back there. So that's the way I need to go. So we're going to avoid if we can. I'm not going to go into any situation that I think could be bad. Then I'm going to deny someone access to me, whether that's putting a car in between us if I'm in the parking garage, Or if I can run into a room, shut the door, and throw a bookcase in front of it, I'm going to deny access. And then if I have to, I'm going to defend myself.
Wow, it sounds so simple, finding the exit before something happens. We are talking with Sergeant Jacquelyn Persiani. She's a deputy with the Roanoke County Sheriff's Department about personal safety. And I know you teach personal safety or self-defense classes. Can anybody, any age, take those classes?
Absolutely. So we offer one course. It's called RAD. It's Rape Aggression Defense. So that is specifically tailored to women. So that's a class, and while women are in there, we want to empower those women, and we're covering some very sensitive topics, and we gear that to females only. But if we have someone younger, we would just like parental consent. So we can do teens, we can do kids. So, but it's a heavy topic, so we need just the age in which a child could understand what rape is. So.
Before we actually started the interview, we talked about your work with senior citizens.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Because there are things that senior citizens can do to protect themselves.
Oh, absolutely. So we're very fortunate to be involved with the local Office of Aging and with our local triad group and our SALT Council. And so we work with senior citizens a lot. We have a course called Avoid, and that's how to risk reduction and then some things that we can do to defend ourselves. So with senior citizens, you may be less mobile, but that doesn't mean that there aren't techniques that you can use. We're going to teach you something that's reliable, practical, and that you can use, right? We'll go over risk reduction, how to avoid situations, but then that doesn't, you're carrying a cane. You can still strike someone. We can use our voice, so we can work with anyone.
Wow. I think that's so important to empower.
Absolutely.
All ages and both sexes, because I think a lot of times the elderly and the younger people don't feel like they can protect themselves.
Yes.
So before we close, I wanted you to talk about if someone wants to find a personal safety class, what do you suggest?
So anyone can reach out to me, so I think you'll link my information.
Yes.
And we offer multiple safety classes. We offer a course called CRACE, so Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. We have Avoid classes that myself and some other instructors can tailor to you. Anytime, any place, wherever you'd like it, however much time you'd like. And then we also offer our RAD course. That is for women, and that is over 12 hours. We do it 2 weeks, 3-hour blocks, and we do it in the evening, so we hope to make it more accommodating for people who work.
Okay. Yes, Sergeant, thank you so much
for
being with me. And as she said, we will have Sergeant Persiani's contact information in today's show notes at sisterhoodofthesecond-act.com. Up next, what's your value? And can you articulate that to a potential employer, client, or even your spouse? Find out after the break.
In a region known for its beautiful mountain surroundings, our vibrant arts community makes the Allegheny Highlands a more colorful place to live and visit. Our passion for the arts is endless, and it's uniquely Allegheny.
Hey, it's finally time to vacation again. So here's an offer you'll want to grab quick before it's gone. 2 nights in Myrtle Beach, free. Just call 540-707-5782. 541 Travels is offering 3 days and 2 nights accommodations in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They'll completely waive the package price. So pack for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but when they're gone, so don't miss out. Just call 540-707-5782. That's 540-707-5782.
Commonwealth Home Healthcare has worked to earn your trust for over 40 years. Delivering home medical equipment to meet your needs is our mission. Doing it every day with prompt, attentive, and professional care and service, that's our goal. Despite our vastly changed world due to COVID, Commonwealth Home Healthcare strives to make business personal every day. Whether it's a walker, home care aid, or respiratory equipment, we want to help make your life healthier, safer, easier, and more comfortable. Visit us at CommonwealthCare.com. Commonwealth Home Healthcare, where business is always personal.
I'm going to be an oak tree.
I think I'll be a dogwood tree.
My kids say they be looking for a thorny tree for me.
With Evergreen, you can be a tree. Our biodegradable urn combines your ashes, natural soil additives, and a native tree of your choice. Be a tree and grow for tomorrow.
I want to be a tree.
Learn more at evergreenmemorialtrust.com.
Once again from the Fox Radio Roanoke studios, Sisterhood of the Second Act. Welcome back to Sisterhood of the Second Act. I'm Denise Allen Membreno. Patrice Freeland is the owner of Wonderful Land of Oils, and as a certified essential oil specialist, she helps people live a life of success and joy by balancing the mind, body, and spirit. Patrice is also a founding partner in One Community Now, a healing arts center in Roanoke, Virginia. And she's here today to help us articulate our value. Patrice, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Denise. Thank you.
Now, people might not realize that you have an extensive business background as well. So why did you leave the corporate world to go into essential oils, first of all?
It was really unexpected. It came as a result of my own health and wellness journey. I had become very ill and was in what I call mind-body meltdown. It was one of those situations that we're hearing all too often now where I was having this myriad of symptoms. For me, it was becoming hyperallergic to things. I was in excruciating pain. I was having digestive issues, trouble sleeping. And I was having a really hard time getting answers as to what was happening to me, much less how to fix it. But everything is a cause and effect. I knew there was some reason this was happening. I'd heard of acupuncture. That was my foray into natural healing. And I went on a 10-year journey of really exploring every possible solution, whether it be natural, energetic, standard medicine, to get answers. And everything had its place. I worked with some great practitioners. I learned a lot about how the body truly works from a holistic point of view. And then when the essential oils and nutritional supplementation came into the picture, that was the key that I was missing. And I am so happy to say that I live in very positive health now. During that time, I had become the go-to person for natural healing advice anyway. And knowing what a difference it made in my life and how many people were struggling, it was just a passion I couldn't get rid of. And
couldn't ignore it.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we are all individuals. And if we're not feeling good physically, if we're not feeling good emotionally, then we're not having a good time in this experience. But we definitely can't be of service and have joy in others. And it all comes down to us. And that was why shifting my focus to helping the individual was also such an impactful decision for me.
You know, it's when you say holistic, you mean natural and encompassing everything. And I think we've gotten so far away from being like what our natural body is. We don't think about it very often. Well, in addition to your essential oils, you also sought out a certification as a strength-based life coach. What is that? And how do you help people with that certification?
Yes. So many of us just need some direction on how to do life a little bit differently. We know that we're coming up with hesitancy. We know that we're maybe feeling like a square peg fitting into a round hole in certain situations, but it's really hard to get the details of what you need to get out of that situation and get into something that gets you into more flow. The Clifton Strengths has been one of the most valuable tools that I have found to be able to do that. Those strengths are 34 very specific ways that people develop relationships, intake and process information, communicate. And the order in which you have those strengths is your blueprint on how you do life. And when you have that clarity, then you can embrace and love and lean into who you are, how you do things. So then you get that pattern of flow and ease and success. And equally empowering, you get permission to let go of the things that you're not. And then have grace and surround yourself with people that do things differently and understand that, so we can all work together more cohesively.
When I heard you say communicate, you also said that it helps you know yourself better. Does it help you communicate with others better? Because not everyone communicates the same. You know, we all hear different things. So does it help you with your communications with other people?
Oh, absolutely. So one, I know what my tendencies are, and it helps me be the best that I can be within my tendencies, but now I also know that how to change and deliver my message so that it meets other people's needs, and how to do that simply and easily in one speech or one presentation. So I'm reaching out to every person that I'm speaking with, whether that is in a group presentation or my kids, my coworkers, my clients, and it helps me tailor the message to a way that they can receive it, but then how they can work with me successfully as well.
We are talking with Patrice Freeland. She's a certified strength-based life coach, and we're talking about articulating our value. And that's that's whole part of your communication. You have to find out what your value, realize your value, I should say, and then be able to talk to other people about it. So, have you found that women have a harder time at this, and why?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Women are very frequently in a position where they're serving others. They're taking care of others so that other people can shine, and they step back and don't get the opportunity to focus on themselves. And this has been such a valuable tool for the women that I work with and myself. It's one, to intentionally take that step back and be like, I am valuable. I'm very unique. And not only do I have this certain, like maybe academic skill set, but this is how I specifically bring value to the world. And that's really great. That's very empowering because no one can do it the way that you do.
It is very empowering, and also very useful information to your boss or to a client who may not realize everything that you are doing to help them. Because yes. I've fallen victim to that a couple times where like, oh, they didn't know I was doing this. Shame on me, right?
Yes.
So what steps can our listeners and viewers take to recognize their value, first of all?
The first thing I would suggest is have that intention. Really take time to sit with yourself and look at, what are those, I would say more academic or easily defined things that I'm bringing to a situation, but also how do I bring myself to that? What is my authentic me? And then, of course, taking the Clifton Strengths Assessment and diving into a coach like me or learning that information to come up with an action plan and that is very strengths driven, then we'll take it to the next level. But just having that intention, getting clear, and also it's not just the things that you do like and things that you do well, but it's also the things that you don't like. And then when you get that clarity, then that starts opening doors for you to live life in a way that's very congruent.
So what steps can you give us to have the courage to then relay that to the person who needs to hear it?
Just take that deep breath. And also, they do want that information from you, even if it may not seem that way, because at the end of the day, we want everybody to win. We want, ourselves to have a good experience. We want the people that we're working with to have a good experience. And sometimes those conversations are, here's who I am. Here's what I bring to the table. Here's how I do it. Is this a great fit for you? We want it to be a great fit. And then if not, that is okay too. That's great. Then we're going to be able to find things that work for us a little bit better. So when you keep that just win in mind, how can I win? How can we help this situation be a win? Then that's a really good place to have courage.
And also, you mentioned making the best situation, or if you know those things that you like and don't like, it's easier to let go of something or an interaction, a client, a job that you don't necessarily like.
Yes.
So we are talking with Patrice Freeland. She's a strength-based life coach about articulating your value. But I want to switch gears a little bit. We said you were a founding partner of One Community Now. So what is One Community Now?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about this. It is Roanoke's newest healing arts center, and everything that we do is very intentional about giving people the resources, whether that be a service provider, education, a place to share your gifts and explore for every definition of holistic wellness. And that can be anything from I think I could be an author one day and I want to share my creativity in a certain way. How do I do that so I can contribute and live my joy? To I'm having this physical problem and I would like options. To I'm seeing life in a different way and I've got a lot of questions about that. Where's a safe place where I can ask any type of question, be taken seriously, and be connected with the right people? So it has that multifaceted approach. It is a very flexible place to be as a practitioner and to come in as a client, as a member of a community, because it is all about serving every aspect of that.
And do you have to be a member?
No, not at all. We have a variety of events. If you are someone that wants to contribute in some way, then you can check out our website at onecommunitynow.net and see what we have to offer. Please reach out and we would love to have a communication to see how we can benefit you in the best way possible.
And earlier you mentioned to me that organizations, community groups can use your facility as a meeting place.
Yes, absolutely. We are already the host of several community members, the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, Fem City Roanoke, the Union of Brotherhood. It's a wonderful place for any type of group like that is here just to help others. They need a space to bring people together, and we have a wonderful space for that.
Patrice, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this information with us.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
And we will have Patrice's contact information in today's show notes at sisterhoodofthesecond.com. And we'll be back to wrap up the show right after this.
I'm going to be an oak tree.
I think I'll be a dogwood tree.
My kids say they be looking for a thorny tree for me.
With Evergreen, you can be a tree. Our biodegradable urn combines your ashes, natural soil additives, and a native tree of your choice. Be a tree and grow for tomorrow.
I want to be a tree.
Learn more at evergreenmemorialtrust.com.
Hey, it's finally time to vacation again. So here's an offer you'll want to grab quick before it's gone. 2 nights in Myrtle Beach, free. Just call 540-707-5782. 541 Travels is offering 3 days and 2 nights accommodations in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They'll completely waive the package price. So pack for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But when they're gone, so don't miss out. Just call 540-707-5782. That's 540-707-5782.
Hello, I'm Mike Peterson. My wife Barbara and I own the Brambleton Frame Shop in Roanoke. We have a huge selection of frame moldings and matting, along with the expertise to enhance whatever you need framed. We frame certificates, photos, posters, and artwork, along with jerseys, medals, and other mementos. We frame anything. For all your framing needs, call 540-774-8063 or visit the Brambleton Frame Shop at 3226 Brambleton Avenue.
I'd like to thank Sergeant Jacquelyn Persiani and Patrice Freeland for joining us today. You can get links to personal safety classes and hear Patrice's tips on how to articulate your value at our website at sisterhoodofthesecond.com. I'm Denise Allen Membrano. Join us next week for another edition of Sisterhood, the Second Act.